Welcome to Malcolm Presents and our show, Wayne Bouchard, Democracy 2.0, no, was it? 2.0.
2.0.
I always keep on thinking 2.0. 2.0.
2.0. We're going to change the name anyway,
What's the
Malcolm.
name?
I don't know yet. I'm still working on it.
Wayne Bouchard, and I don't know what the hell the name of the show is. Anyway, we talk about politics, what happened in the past week, and other unnecessary things. It only affects our lives.
Unnecessary and irrelevant.
Right. As I always say, it's not that important. It's only life.
Right. Right.
Anyway, well, what did we want to talk about? Did anything important happen this week?
Not really. I thought your lead there when we were off camera was was it an interesting way to start. Why don't you repeat the question again, and we can take it
I don't remember the question.
You thought that Merrick Garland's news conference a couple of hours ago
Yeah, I
was,
mean, I thought it was almost insignificant because he didn't say anything that we didn't know, and he just said we did this and this is why we did it. But we knew all that.
yeah, but they filed a motion with that the court in Florida
Yeah, but
to unseal the search warrant.
that maybe I missed that. But
So what that means is that well, first of all, what it means is, a judge is going to hear arguments from the government and from Donald Trump's attorneys as to whether or not the search warrant should be unsealed. And if the funny part about it is that Donald Trump and all of his minions have been raising all kinds of hell for the last 3 days about this search warrant. When in reality, Donald Trump and his attorneys have had a copy of this search warrant all along. So they know exactly what's in this search warrant. And they could have released that to the press and said, they're looking for this chicken shit information, and they raided my personal home looking for this stuff. But no, they did not. They did not, and they could have revealed the contents of the warrant, and they didn't. So I think what the Attorney General did was, if you can put this in the parlance of a poker game, he called the president. He said, I call your bluff, and I'll raise you a significant value here, because I am going to request that this search warrant be unsealed and made a matter of public record. Now, they will have an opportunity to say, no, we don't want this as a matter of public record. And they can argue in court as to the reason why they don't want it as a matter of public record. But then they will show the world that, that they're just buffoons, and, this has all been a big scam, because they know what the hell's going on and nobody else does except the Department of Justice and the FBI. Now, if Trump doesn't appeal the case and these records are open to the general public, then we'll all know what the hell's going on. We'll all know what the Department of Justice and the FBI are looking for.
Well, that's what I wanted to find out, but
no, he is going by the letter of the law.
And which I didn't realize either, that Trump's attorneys were present when they searched.
Yes, they did not have they did not wear the traditional FBI jackets. Right. They were in plain clothes. They were dressed in suits. I can almost guarantee you they were black suits, however, because they arrive in black Suburbans. But
Well, they look like Men in Black with Will Smith.
right,
Black,
right.
black suits, white shirts, black
So,
ties.
and another thing that came out was that they had issued a subpoena back in July, for some documents, and they went to Mar-a-Lago and they got some documents, and then they issued another subpoena because they had them, and they did not comply with that subpoena.
Right. Well, that we knew before. I think they had 15 boxes of documents.
No. That was the National Archives that took the 15 boxes, and then the Justice Department knew that there were other documents. So we have, the only thing we know is whatever he is hiding, and he is obviously hiding it because he didn't give it to the National Archives, and he didn't give it to the Department of Justice the first time they went there. So he's hiding something that is classified as top secret.
Or it could be embarrassing. His love letters to Kim Jong-un.
No, probably not. Probably those wouldn't be classified top secret.
Well, someone said he didn't do anything illegal because, as president, he's the one that classifies things as top secret, and he could have unsecreted them.
Yeah, but he didn't. He didn't, and if he unclassified them, then everyone would have access to them then. So whatever it is that they are after, he does not want anybody to see.
Yeah, but I don't know why that the right wing is so adamant that they're doing. It's a third world country. It's a banana country. What they're doing, they're persecuting the president, and he's been out of office. But it's like he could, like he said at the initial when he was running, I could kill someone on 42nd Street and not be convicted, not even be tried.
Right.
And this is what he's doing. I mean, what he's doing is, like, at least in my estimation and what I know, it's completely illegal. If for certain reasons I'd find out that it's not illegal, then I can switch my opinion. But right now, what he's doing is totally illegal, and the government had, the State Department, the DOJ had to take steps.
And not only that, but by making this public. See, if Donald Trump hadn't made it public on Monday afternoon, nobody would ever know. He is the one who made it a public issue.
That they broke into his safe.
And we don't know what they took, but we will find out what they took, because there will be an itemized list of the things that they took.
But Mar-a-Lago is almost like his office away from his home. It's not like it's his almost private residence.
He considers that his primary residence today. He's registered to vote in that county, and he no longer considers New York his primary residence.
Right, but still, that he considers it as private, but more or less was his office away from his office when he was president.
Yes.
And he worked out of there.
He entertained a lot of world leaders there. He has had, meetings after meetings with all sorts of dignitaries there.
Right, without the secured meeting areas where people can't, tap him or listen to his conversation. That was a big thing.
And he has always handled classified information haphazardly.
Yeah. Well, speaking of other big developments, he has a civil case in New York. Tell us what happened with that.
Apparently, he was there yesterday, and he was sworn in. He was there for 4 hours. There were 12 different state's attorneys present, and the New York Attorney General was there for half of the session, but after 2 hours, she got fed up and left because he took on attorney's advice, he took the Fifth Amendment over and over and over again. He did not answer a single question, apparently, after 4 hours of questioning. And his children did, his kids did. They answered questions.
And the ironies of that was a few years ago, he said, who takes the Fifth Amendment? It's gangsters. They must
Gangsters.
be. Yeah, they must be guilty. Why else would they take the Fifth Amendment?
Right. He has railed on anyone who has taken the Fifth Amendment for a lot of years.
He has been hung by his own words.
There's a saying, and I'm not exactly sure where it's derived from, but he was hung by his own petard.
Right, I was going to say that, but I'm not sure what a petard is. I don't know.
Neither am I. I know that I spent a lot of time once trying to find out, and I'm not sure if I ever did, and if I did, Malcolm, I forgot.
Well, let's see if they have that in Google. I don't know how to spell it.
Petard. You look it up. So while you're looking that up, I'm just going to. There's a litany of things that Trump is in trouble with the law over. The first item, of course, he's in trouble over these White House documents that we're not sure what they are. He's holding on to classified information. The second thing that he is under investigation for is his activities in the January 6th insurrection at the Capitol. And then he has his business dealings with the state of New York. And then he has his tax returns. So he's under investigation in 4 areas. I am glad I am not Donald Trump. That's all I can say.
Anyway, okay. Aside from historical references to siege warfare and occasional contemporary references to fireworks, petard is almost always encountered in the variation of the phrase hoist with one's own petard, meaning victimized or hurt by one's own scheme. The phrase comes from the William Shakespeare's Hamlet, for 'tis the sport, and I won't go into the rest of it.
Right. So it's from Shakespeare. That's why we don't know what the hell it is.
But what's interesting, which I just before I started the show, I was listening to the news, and the penalty for holding back top secret material information had been enhanced by.
It was only a 1-year penalty.
Yeah, it went from a misdemeanor to a felony, and who signed it?
Donald Trump.
Trump.
Right, because he thought he was going to get Hillary on that.
Yeah, so it's interesting. So he will be hoisted on his own petard.
He thought he was going to get Hillary on it. The sad part about all this is the threats and the violence, or attempted violence.
Well, he's throwing bricks into the fire.
Well, it just goes to show you how far down, who's dragging us down to become a third world country. Donald Trump and his base within the Republican Party. That's who's dragging us down to become a third world country. Those are the guys and the gals who believe that being a fascist will solve all our problems.
Well, as I say, I believe in ultimately in a benevolent dictator.
Benevolent dictator. What? And my wife texted me something yesterday about
And
Oh.
she would be a benevolent dictator.
No, she texted me something about wait a minute, I got to get my phone and because this is relevant.
Very apropos.
Oh dear.
Well, text I can get. I can't get it when somebody emails me something. It gets lost.
Nope, can't find
Okay.
it.
Say it.
Can't find it. So we have there was some guy that broke into the FBI's office today in Cleveland
And then I
with a
had.
gun. And he was making all sorts of threats, and then he left, and he was in a chase with the police. I'm not sure what happened there. The judge that signed the search warrant, they got the judge's name and telephone number off of the Florida whatever it is, circuit court website. So they had to take down that, excuse me. Oh, they had to take down that website. And people are threatening to do bodily harm to that judge. I just think it's just appalling. The things that are happening over something
One of the sources said he's not even a judge, he's a magistrate. So number one, I don't know what the difference is. I always call the magistrate a judge. But do you know what the difference is?
No, I don't. I thought of that too. It's whoever it was as a judge, magistrate, or a magistrate judge. I'm not sure which comes first.
And
I didn't have time before the show to look that up or to call my son and get an explanation.
And do you know who appointed him? Or is that an elected office, or he's appointed to the bench?
I don't know.
Because I know, and the other things, when Trump was denied certain things, they said, well, this was Trump appointed him to the bench. But I haven't heard anything about this. So maybe it's an elected position. Was this the federal court of whatever this, the Southern District? Yeah, why does he the magistrate up? Now you're just free, you're frozen now. I can't see, you're not doing anything. Okay, let's wait. Can you hear me? Well, you can't tell me anything. I'm gonna have to call you up and ask you are you back again? No. Now you're off. Now it's all me alone on the show. So I'm just wondering whether, I hope you're coming back. Are you back?
I am back. I don't know what happened.
Okay, I know you're frozen. I was just about to call you the old-fashioned ways. See if you did again. But again, yeah, and something to the fact that the militia said they're gonna they asked people to come down to Mar-a-Lago to guard the president.
Yeah.
And and if the FBI would come in again, they'd stop him.
Yeah. I'd like to see how many of those militia, I'm not going to say guys because there may be some women with them, would have the chutzpah to stand there in front of that entrance at Mar-a-Lago and hold off a squad of FBI agents
with guns. Both of them would have guns, whether they would shoot.
That would be interesting, because I think when a fast bullets start flying, that's when people turn and run.
Well, I mean, the problem is I have a feeling that some of the militiamen would probably stand there and fight. They're probably wearing their bulletproof vests and
some of them might just be, we in our household we refer to them as the crazies.
Yeah,
Uh,
but they think they're the Minutemen, the famous people from the Revolution that fought the British,
my God.
and they're
If we
fighting
could
against fascism.
if we could only channel those resources into something productive, we'd be just so much better off.
Yeah, but then
Um,
then then instead of what I think you should have done is become a minister. You
yeah,
know,
and all these Republican legislators, Malcolm, that jumped into this thing. Do you think that they jumped in over their head and maybe they're going to learn or regret their decision?
I
And
don't know. As I said, the thing that disappoints me is not the actions of Trump, which I expect. It's a
yes,
number one, the people that back him, the
yes.
legislation, and the citizens who back him, who agree with him
Well,
after his 4 years in office.
I don't criticize so much the people that back him because I think they have legitimate gripes with government and they like Trump is their savior. Unbeknownst to them, he could care less about them. And when it comes down to whether or not Trump's going to fish or cut bait, he's going to run from those. He has absolutely no use for any of those people. He has never shown the slightest bit of concern for people like that ever. And I can assure you that he'll run so fast from those people. But the people that really scare me, are the politicians. The Kevin McCarthys of the world, who was caught on tape, criticizing Trump for January 6th, and then turned around and flew down to Mar-a-Lago to do the mea culpa, mea culpa, mea culpa. Please forgive me, Your Royal Highness. I didn't really mean to say those things. And then he comes out the other day and he is threatening the Attorney General of the United States by saying, we're going to win this midterm election. And when we win that midterm election and we have control of the House and I become Speaker of the House,
They're going to impeach him.
you better clear your calendar because I want to talk to you. We're going to start an investigation into the Department of Justice.
Well, they're going to start. They're going to retry Hillary Clinton.
Yeah. Well, that's how they got in trouble with that law. Lock her up.
Yeah, lock her up.
I'll bet you she's sitting up there in Chappaqua smiling from ear to ear.
Yeah, politics is weird nowadays.
Oh, it has never been in my lifetime. It has never been like this, ever.
But let's get some of the positive thing. What do you think about the passage of the IRA or the?
What does that stand for now? What does that stand for?
Inflation Reduction Act.
That's right, Inflation Reduction Act. I think, and I know you're going to appreciate this. I think for the first time, not first time, but I think I wholeheartedly agree with Bernie Sanders, is that it's nice. I'm happy that we did it. I'm proud of the progress that we're making, but we are not addressing the issues of the middle and low income people of this country, and we are not addressing the issues of healthcare and how pitiful our healthcare is for children and then the poverty level in this nation. The most advanced economy in world history, and we really suck when it comes to taking care of the.
Well, they wouldn't let any of those provisions for working mothers.
No, none of that stuff was in there.
But the question is what I've been professing all along is there has to be compromise, and this is compromise. But
I agree. I agree 100%, Malcolm, and I am one of those. And Bernie Sanders said it. You know, we start here, and we have to move forward.
It's right. It's a beginning, and I hope it works for the simple reason that, to me, it's a good, especially with the provisions for the climate change, which I
Correct.
think is like 300 and something $billion, which is probably inadequate, but it's a start.
It's a start. It's a significant start.
Yeah.
And I really,
and the transfer from the carbon energy to electric energy.
and I really have to, compliment Senator Schumer and Senator, and I don't want to call him the derogatory. What is his real name now? Senator Manchin, not Munchkin, Manchin,
Manson and Cinema.
and Cinema, for coming to that compromise. Now, some things happened that I don't think should have happened, but it was better than nothing happening at all.
Right. That's again what I said. You have to compromise, and on a whole, it's good, but there are a lot of loopholes in there. And extended what they, I mean, even Obama didn't want to become Obamacare. It's affordable health insurance.
Right, but
It's not
Obamacare's got a nice ring to it.
Yeah.
And it just does this. How do I do? Just does this to people like Donald Trump. Obamacare.
And what I marvel at is, the Republicans are down on this, going to cause inflation, it's going to cause that, it's going to cause this, but they don't have any alternative programs. The 4 years that Trump is there, was his big thing was the tax reduction. But who saved the most? The top 1%.
Top 1%. And the other thing that he likes to hang his hat on is immigration. But he didn't build the wall.
Well, also immigration. There's been no new immigration laws.
No.
The immigration was, let's stop those bastards from coming into the country.
If the Republicans should have an agenda that, and these are the words of Mike Pence, a forward-looking agenda. We don't want to look in our rear view mirror. We want to look forward. We want to talk about tomorrow and what we can do for the American people tomorrow, not what we did last week.
Yeah,
that's the agenda that they should adopt.
What I like about Mike Pence is, despite what happened, he's still in a way backing Trump. Even when Trump said, "Kill the bastard."
Yeah. No, I think he's split with Trump pretty well now. He supported a couple of candidates in the primaries on Tuesday that lost to Trump-backed candidates. But to get back to this Inflation Reduction Act, if the Democrats lose the House, all that stuff's going to become unraveled, and that's going to be a shame.
Right. If they lose the House and the Senate.
I don't know how a rational-minded Republican, and some of my good friends are Republicans, how a rational-minded Republican can support the agenda that's on the table. The Marjorie Taylor Greene agenda and the Donald Trump agenda. What they want to do is take this country down to
third world level.
Yeah, down to a third world dictatorship.
I don't see how, let's say, the Republican Party with the IRA, how not one vote.
No, not one.
The block to turn it down.
Not one vote.
Not even the liberal, the so-called Rhino Republicans.
Right. Where was what's his name from Utah?
Yeah, I know you're talking about. My mind's going also.
Yeah. And you know, all these other seemingly like-minded Romney, that's his name.
Mitt
Mitt
Romney.
Romney. And the people who have, you know, who are not really idiots and who
Well,
are
the,
not,
the only thing I could think about is that they voted no because they knew that it's going to be passed. So their vote didn't count, and they didn't want to make a bad mark against the the Republican Party if they want to run for something. But they knew it would be 50-50, and that the vice president would cast the vote. That's the only thing I could think of.
well, they should all be embarrassed. They should all be embarrassed because they're all cowards. They don't have the the qualities of statesmanship to stand up to a bully like Donald Trump. And the only thing a bully like Donald Trump understands is getting punched in the face.
But my question is, can he be convicted either for the civil in the civil suit or the criminal suits that is against in Georgia before December? Before
He probably
the
can't be
elections.
convicted, but he sure as hell can be indicted.
Oh yeah, but I don't know. Can you nominate an indicted?
I don't know. There's a big question even about you know, if he was convicted. Oh, but that's November of 2024,
Right.
not this November. So he could be convicted by then. Yes.
Yeah. Well, he won't be convicted or anything happens if the if the Dems lose a house,
Why?
because they're not gonna. Who's gonna condemn him?
Well, first of all, the Attorney General in Georgia is going to have this done before November. And secondly, if the Republicans were to take control of the House and the Democrats still had control of the Senate by virtue of Kamala Harris's tie-breaking vote as President pro tem of the Senate, there's nothing they can do.
But how about if they lose both?
That's what I'm both are screwed.
That's what I'm fearful. Anyone on
Well,
that?
no, they're not, because Biden still can veto it, any legislation.
Yeah, but then they have to come a supermajority. They have to do what, 60 votes?
Yeah.
Then there's a way of overturning a veto. Anyway, let's ponder those issues and see what happens next week. You
I'm
have
sure, you know, remember a couple of weeks ago when I said to you, you know, maybe we could take a couple of weeks off in the summer?
No way. The only people that can take a few weeks off are congressmen.
Yes, yes.
We have to look into the issues and rip them apart and say how ridiculous our country is. Who else is going to do it? And remember, we're not the commentators. We're not the the newscasters that have a group of research people. It's me and you.
Right. I don't have a research staff.
Oh, you don't?
No, I don't. I don't.
I'll lend you some of mine.
Oh, okay, good. Great. Send them over.
Okay, you got it. Anyway,
All
kid.
right.
Say
Take care,
hello.
Malcolm.
Speak to you tomorrow. Speak to you next week. Bye-bye.
See you. Bye.